Happy New Year. Episode 7?
8.
8?
Episode 8.
Wow. Welcome to UPFRONT 2023. Nick Medalinos, my brother. How you doing?
You're back in the building.
UPFRONT boys is back in the building.
Happy
Cheers.
New Year. Chronia Polak, Ali Chronia.
Okay, that's what's up. Talk to him, Nick.
That's all for our Greek listeners as well.
No doubt.
Happy New Year to everybody. If there's anyone from a Latino background, Feliz Año Nuevo. And that's all
Keep
I know how to
going.
say. That's it. I just 3 languages.
All the Jamaicans, big up yourself. We here.
We're in the building. How was your holiday period?
Man, fantastic. We work every day, so regardless if it's a holiday, we work away. But it was fantastic. I have a special guest the house.
We do.
My twin is in the building. Bella Bear is here. And that pretty much made my holidays. Gabby's coming. Gabby's coming. What's today? I should know.
Soon.
Right?
Soon.
Today's like the 6th. Gabby might be supposed to be in about 10 days, but usually, like her mom, late for everything. I'm sure she's coming after.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Bang, bang. Shout out to you, Philly. Other than that, man, just spent it with the fam, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. What's up with you? How was yours?
It was good. Like, Christmas was chill, as it always is. Just spent it with the fam as well. Went to my sister's house. Just rocked up with a whole bunch of presents for my niece and my 2 nephews. And,
Right.
They all came running for the presents before even saying hello to me. They just saw us getting out of the car and they
usual.
were like, I want to open presents.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But it was good. It was chill Christmas, as always. It was a hot day too, so I was like not really in the mood to do much. Had a lot of food, had a few drinks, and then I just wanted to go home, take a nap, But
Right.
like you said, there's not much time to chill for us during this holiday period. We may get a day here and there, but the basketball season between NBL and NBA, we don't have much time off right now, man. So that was good. And then New Year's Eve, just chill at a friend's house, barbecue, a few drinks, all that sort of stuff. And New Year's Day, headed down to St Kilda. You made an appearance late in the afternoon as well down there at Captain Baxter.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the verve that we drank on
doubt,
that
no
day.
It was a vibe. It definitely was a vibe. Christmas, I only gave out 2 gifts. I don't want to offend you, Nick.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I saw the photo.
I
saw the photo.
I had a pair of... Sorry, what do you call those again?
The lost and found.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Lost my mind.
Yeah.
Real quick, it left my mind. Got a pair lost and founds for Bella. She was dying for those. And I got.
She wasn't the only one dying for those.
I got a pair for Philly too.
Oh my God.
Philly got a pair lost and found. It's easy. It was kids. Kids.
Yeah, I know, but you know what?
Super easy.
I'm resigned.
Easier.
I'm resigned to the fact I'm never going to own that shoe now, and I've made peace with it. And I'm 90% okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did see that photo that you posted with Bella, and I didn't even read a caption.
Quick.
I didn't even read a caption. I didn't do anything. I just looked at the feet, and I
Right.
was like, "Yo."
Too funny, man. But Christmas, had an Ethiopian Christmas. The grub was elite, and watched history being made in this country in sport. So it's really dope to see basketball on television. It was a good game, and I had went on TV a couple days before, right? I was on ABC News Breakfast, and was just talking about how we do it in America. That's been a part of the culture for about 70, 80 plus years, right? There's always sport on television, Christmas Day. And why not? And I'm surprised that it's taken this long for a game to happen. Maybe because of the seasons or whatever, but something to happen that day. Why wouldn't it? Everybody's home. Majority of people are home in their home, on their asses, drinking and eating. Why not just turn the game on?
It makes sense.
It makes absolute sense. And again, man, NBL beats them to the punch.
Absolutely, leading the pack there. You know what was interesting with that, right? I was watching the game as well, watching the pre-game. I'm watching the players warm up and shoot around. Half an hour before the game, whatever it was. And I've covered in New York. I think I did 3 Christmas Day games, maybe 4. I can't remember. But it brought back that feeling, right? Like when I first moved to New York, I didn't know anything about working on a Christmas Day because we've never done that down here, right? So I moved to New York, first Christmas Day game at the Garden, 2012. Knicks were good that year too, which was good for me. I was actually watching a half-decent team.
Right.
But I missed that feeling of like everyone's in the arena, everyone's festive. You see the players putting up shots. They're in a happy mood. Their families are there. And I was watching that. I think they were showing DJ on the screen when I was watching that. And I was like, it just brought back that feeling, man.
Yeah.
Like watching hoops on Christmas Day, it just seems right to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It
No
just
doubt.
seems right. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Did you enjoy the open roof game?
Hell yes.
I think those are going to be my favorite 2 times of the year with NBL.
Yeah.
Those 2 games.
Yeah. Listen, that was my first open air game. Obviously, I haven't been in the country except for the last, 2 years or so. That
Have you
was
ever been to the game before together?
open air game, no.
You and I. Have we ever been to an NBL game before this season? No.
No,
We've never been to a game before.
No, we haven't actually.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad it was the open air game. That was the first one we went to. Really great vibe.
Yeah.
I do want to let the people know, right? I do want to let the people know. This man here, it took us 45 minutes to get to our seat, right? We went right around the court. Instead of just going this way to our seat in the corner, we went right around. It took us like 45 minutes because everyone wanted to say hello to Corey. Corey knows every other person in there. He's having conversations with people. And it was just like, you'd finish with one person. I'm like, all right, we're going to start walking. Then it'd be like, homicide. He'd stop over here. Then it'd be over here. Then it'd be over here. And it was like, man, it took us. I was like, yo, we're talking about this on up front when we're back.
Yo, man, the man of the people. Love is love. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's just what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody, Give off positive energy. That's what should come back.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of love in the building. The weather was great, which was good because obviously that adds to the entire atmosphere. But I loved it, man. I had a ball. I'll definitely be at the next one.
Yeah.
And we've got to go to another NBL game, you and I, sooner than the next open air game.
For sure. That's no problem. They played a lot of games on the road, both teams. So hopefully Southeast Melbourne make Southeast Phoenix make playoffs. And we'll be in the building because Melbourne United are cooked. All right, what we got next? Uh-oh.
I just wanted to touch on this. I wanted to touch on it, right? We did mention the sneakers before, the lost and found. And like I said, I've made peace with that. But I just do want to let the people know about, some sneaker pickups that I've made.
Okay.
Because I haven't gone without, right?
Okay.
I may not have gotten the one that I want, but I haven't gone without. So, I think just after that drop, the lost and found, as we mentioned, I think it was like the week after, I let everybody know I picked up the DJ Khaled's.
Right.
The Salmon ones. I did want the white ones or the Sail, whatever it is. Didn't manage to get those, but I got the Air Jordan 7s, the Cardinal colorway, which I'm not, I love the Air Jordan 7. Right? I think it's one of the underrated models. The Cardinal colorway is not especially one of my favorites, but it's an OG colorway.
Right.
And that means a lot to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So went down to the employee store. I'm a VIP.
Oh, you got a plug.
Yeah, I'm a VIP down there. I get 50% off. So shout out to my Nike guy. You are the man. You know who you are. I'm not going to say any names on camera.
Right.
So I ended up getting those 50% off. I hit on the Cherry 11s as well.
Nice.
I entered actually about 6 raffles. Right. But I always forget that the 11s that they release at the end of the year are always mass-produced, right? There's like 1 million pairs of those.
Get those.
So you always get them. I ended up hitting on my first raffle, so then I had to cancel the rest of that.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, though, I won that raffle. I go into the employee store, and they were sitting there as well.
There.
I could have got it 50%
Damn.
off. But, listen, I got them. That's the main thing.
Right.
And then for my very last pickup of 2022, so I haven't actually bought any shoes this year, right? So the last pair of shoes I got was December the 30th. I hit on the Jordan 2s, the Chicago colorway.
Right.
So I may have got the
Those are fire. The 2s are fire.
Yeah, and it's an OG colorway.
Yeah.
So I missed out on the lost and founds, but your boy's doing all right.
It sounds like it. She definitely sounds like. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
the shades. You know, every time I'm on television, somebody says the corniest thing ever, like, "Oh, it's what did they say? Oh, it's dark out there. Oh, it's so sunny there. It's so sunny there." Listen, man. My style and your style is two different styles. Whether I appreciate your style or not, when you come on television, I'm not saying a joke about your style, right? Because if I say it, it can come across as insulting or disrespectful. So let's do a better job of stop with these running jokes that aren't even funny anymore. It's not even funny. If you're going to say a joke, at least make the joke or the comment that you think is funny, make it funny. Because if I start joking and I think it's funny and it's not, it'll be a lot of crying and complaining. So I'm just putting it out there in 2023, because I've been here, this 6 seasons, right? And in my culture, we rock shades, we rock fly shades. Like, these are vintage Cartier frames. Fly. Anywhere in the world. So let's do us a favor. Let's lead with kindness. Because if I start joking, it's going to be a lot of crying around here and complaining. So let's just keep that in mind if I decide, if I pop up on screen. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
And there you have it. All right, C-Dub, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're coming back with the Corey story.
Let's do it.
All right, we are back now, C-Dub. It is time for the Corey story. And I think for the first time this season of episodes that we've done, I don't actually know which story you're going to tell us today. Normally, I've got a fair idea of where we're going to go. I haven't heard today's story, and I've got no idea where we're going to go. So,
yeah. So this one might be this story is me going into season 3 playing in the Middle East.
Gotcha.
So I just played season 2. We lost to go to the championship with We lost to go to the Final Four. It was me, my other import, Hassan Whiteside, right? Before he went to the NBA, right? Shout out to Hassan. And it was me, Hassan Whiteside, and Flip Murray, right? That was our team.
Here's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, so that off season, I was home, obviously go home, chill with Bella, street ball duties, and then it's time for me to dip back where I'm going, figure out where I'm going. And obviously I'm in the Middle East. So I know I'm going to sign back in Lebanon somewhere, just don't know which team yet. So at this point, I ended up going to Dubai before I re-signed with my team to see the woman I was dating at the time, right? So I'm in Dubai, and then the team that I signed with, I was with the season before. It's like, look, our budget got cut in half. We want you, but we got to pay you half of. We're paying everybody half who signs back with us.
Yeah.
I was never taking half of what I was earning, because that doesn't help you years after. They know you can get cheap labor.
It sets a precedent.
There you go. So I politely declined with no job offer. And I had no other options at that point. So I then sitting on the shelf in Dubai, right? So I'm like, what's going to happen next? So I ended up playing in a Dubai Cup.
Okay.
Which is, like the small cups that these international leagues have.
Yeah.
A bunch of teams in the Middle East come to Dubai, play in the cup for like 7 to 10 days, and you go from there. So after that, I played well. I played with an Egyptian team. A team in Qatar in their league, they wanted me.
Okay.
Sent the contract over, and then last minute reneged on the deal. 2 days later, a team in Iraq, right? Iraq, we want you now. Here's a salary. Money was right. But there's something going on right now in Iraq. ISIS, Black Flag.
Yep.
ISIS is going ham.
Yeah, that was like the
This
peak.
is the peak, the height of ISIS in Iraq. And
the last thing you want to do is be an American in Iraq at that time.
So here's my thoughts. I said, well, I just turned down a job that was paying me 50% less. That offered 50% less. The Qatar option is no longer. The only option on the table is Iraq or take a risk, pass down on that job and wait for another job.
Yeah.
In the height of ISIS, what do? I said, when's the flight leave? I'm there. Just like that. See, the thing is with this game, with what a lot of people do not know, you're only as good as your options. I've said it on plenty of podcasts, but the L word, leverage. You ain't got leverage, you ain't got shit.
Facts.
Right? And this is year 3, and I did 3 more seasons in Lebanon. So if I don't take that job, that's the second one in about 6 weeks that came. What happens if I don't take that job, right?
You lose the leverage.
There's no other option. What do you have, right?
Yeah.
And was I ready to take a risk right then and there on not accepting that job, waiting for another? I wasn't, because again, I'd rather be in motion. Now, here's the thing. Tell me a country, right, in the world, as an import, as a black American man going to play basketball in these countries, war-torn or not, has a gym ever gotten blown up? Have they ever kidnapped a basketball player? Go over there, do your job, go to practice, go eat, go back home.
And that's it.
And that's it. So it's funny because the way I grew up, there was a route. You just go do what you need to do. You already know what happens late night in New York. Go inside. So the area I grew up in, the environment I grew up in, prepared me already mentally for something like that. Like if you can survive and thrive in New York, where's really a problem for you? I'm not a journalist. I'm not on the front line trying to have a camera there, trying to interview people.
Yeah, you're not.
No one's bothering me.
You're not speaking out against the regime.
No one's
you're not doing
bothering
anything.
me.
Yeah.
All I got to do is do what? Go to practice.
Go home.
Go home, go eat, that's it. Tell you the funny thing about it, that's where I got on Game of Thrones. Because I was watching Game of Thrones.
I thought you were on Game of Thrones for a second. I was like, how did I not know about this?
I'd have been really, really popping. I've been on a Netflix TV series. Actually,
which I didn't know until I saw you on there.
You saw me on it?
Yeah. I was like, wait, is Corey a cop in the background?
How about this? Corey was a homicide detective in the homicide division investigating a homicide. What are those odds?
Detective homicide. We've got another body on our hands.
What was those odds? As the guy named Homicide. Yeah. Unbelievable. But back to Iraq. I was in my hotel and the soccer team stayed there, and it was very cold because you're getting that cold from Russia coming off those mountains hitting you in Iraq. And I was in Kurdistan. So Kurdistan is actually an independent state in the whole country of Iraq. So I was actually in the safest area.
Okay.
Like on the borders, ISIS was trying to get in.
Yep. And
the government, the Kurdish armed forces, you're not coming in. So they never made it in where we were at.
Yeah, gotcha.
But that was wild. I saw 6-year-old kids. I had documented all of this. This is on my Instagram. Too far to go back. So many posts.
Yeah.
But I may go back. It'd take me about 40 minutes of
scrolling back.
But this was a powerful image because it literally was a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid. He couldn't be no older than 8. I think he was 6. Selling cigarettes and phone credit to feed his family.
Yeah.
And it just gave me perspective. Like,
Absolutely.
How could I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm in Iraq. It's big in Iraq. Oil. Okay. With that, here's a kid selling phone credit and cigarettes to feed his family.
Yeah.
I would just give him money every day. This is crazy. This is not living, but that's his reality.
That's his reality, yeah.
It's his reality. We go to and from practice in our car, And you would see unfinished buildings. People are living in them. What kind of conditions are that? Cold. What are they doing at night? You understand what I'm saying? How are they sleeping warm at night? No electricity, no running water.
Yeah. All they've got is a roof over their heads, basically.
And it's a skeleton of a building. It's an unfinished building.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It does put it into perspective, right?
Man.
You know, I'm sitting here complaining I didn't get lost and found, and you know, there's the reality of that. Like, I'm complaining about first world problems. You know, you don't realize how lucky you are until you see how
other people have it.
How other people have it. And I see it in Greece all the time too. You know, I go back to Greece in the summertime, and we go back, like, Greece is obviously going through economic troubles and for many years now, and we go back, right? And we think it's all party and games and all that sort of stuff. Then you see some Greeks doing it tough. But then you see, like, the immigrants that come to Greece from these kind of countries, Iraq, African nations, Nigeria, wherever it may be, and even Giannis Antetokounmpo is the perfect example, selling, you know, bootleg CDs on the streets of Athens.
Hustling for
real.
Know, that's hustle.
That's hustle, right? Now he's got enough money to buy the whole of Greece over 3 times. So shout out to him too. But it does open your eyes to the realities of life.
Man, you know, so I think that it was an eye-opening experience to see how other people really live in those type of situations. I think one of the biggest things is, for me, is, you know, as a black man, you know, we got it hard. Like, nobody wants to be black that's not black. We have it the hardest. But until you go and see the world, you'll understand, like, there's people that aren't black that got it just as bad. Like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I lived and played in China.
Yeah.
You know, and all people, this is the worst. Like, there's a lot of up stereotypes, right? But a lot of people think just if you're Asian or Chinese, like, you got money.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen hard living. In every country I've been in, I've seen hard living. And if there's 1 billion people in your country, everybody ain't got it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody
Yeah.
just don't have it. And I saw it. You know, I saw people living in, like, their homes were like the size of, like, a prison cell. It's just concrete slabs.
Yeah.
Like, it's real out here. So, you know, it just made me, I always appreciate everything, but it just makes you, just in case if you stop beginning not to appreciate things, here's a reminder. Here's a reminder. So, like, the biggest thing I want my daughter to do, I always tell Bella, I'm like, yo, listen, B, when you finish and you graduate college, like, her degree's in communications, right? When you graduate college, I need you to travel for like a year. Then come back and tell me what you want to do. Because, you know, this kid is spoiled, right? For all the right reasons. You want exposure leads to expansion, right? So she works hard. She doesn't give any problems. So that way she has whatever she wants from me, she got her mother the same way. So she travels a lot. So she's seen a lot. But now I want her to make sure she sees the world.
Yeah.
On her own, with her friends, not with her parents.
Yeah, it's a different vibe.
Sitting well, eating well, living. No. Go out there. You know, and that's why I appreciate backpackers. I appreciate them. They just go with the backpack. They stay in hostel. Like, it's not even about how you live, and it's like, just see the whole experience.
Yeah.
Gives you a better perspective on life. If you've been eating fucking steak every day, is steak good to you? You don't even know if steak is good. You haven't tried anything else.
You don't know. Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing else. You know what I mean? So I think just education is the best thing someone can have. Education and perspective on life and different types of living is very important.
All right, there you go. C-Dub dropping some knowledge bombs for the Corey story this week. All right, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back with some more listener questions.
No doubt.
All right, we are back for my favorite segment of the show because we get to answer the listener questions. And as always, shout out to the listeners, always coming through with some great questions for us to answer every single week.
Shout out to the listeners. Nothing but love and respect.
Absolutely. You know what? Shout out to my friend and my friend Anastasia as well.
Anastasia. Shout out to Anastasia.
Yeah, I caught up with her for dinner. We're going to go on a little tangent here. I caught up with her for dinner just before Christmas. And as we're eating, she goes to me, yo, I want to say something. She goes, I don't know anything about basketball. She goes, I don't even really watch it. She goes, but the show with you and Corey, she goes, you guys are hilarious, man. And she goes, and I absolutely love it. She's been listening to every episode. So, Anastasia, I know you're listening to this one here. Shout out to you. We appreciate it.
Much love, Anastasia.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the questions. C-Dub. We're going to start off here with the first one coming from CJ. And CJ says, how hard is it for an import player to adjust coming to the NBL, in particular, a remote part of Australia like Townsville? What were your first thoughts?
Where's the gym? Let me see my teammates. Let's go to work. You see, as an import, you don't have the luxury as a local. A local could be okay and get a job next year in the same league on a top team for good money. An import, you're not getting a job next year. I can't go and average mediocre numbers. There's too much talent out here. Mortgage to pay, kids to feed, education to pay, tuition. You got to live, you got to eat, you got to put clothes on backs. So I automatically know what I'm signing up for. Half of me emotionally is going out the window because that shit don't matter. Don't matter where you at. Don't matter where you living. Are you producing? Nobody cares. You miss your fam. We don't care. Am I getting my 25 and 5 tonight with 2 blocks or 2 steals?
Yeah.
Don't matter what the country look like. Don't matter what the city look like. Don't matter if the fans like you. What is your job? What is your job description? Come in here and produce and help this team win. Make us better than what we were last year. That's it. That was my mentality off the rip.
Yep.
Right? So when I go to these places, I don't care how it looks. Let's get to work. That's my mentality.
All right. Next question comes from Brian Debert. He says, if you could tell your younger...
Sorry. To add to it.
Yep.
Do you think if the place is beautiful and I'm not producing, what do the owners of the team care about?
If you're not, you're out of there within 2 weeks
there
anyway.
You go.
Yeah. So
even worse, the guy replacing you might be in the crowd or practicing on the team with you every day because you're not producing. Nobody cares about your feelings. Be a pro, come to work, and deliver.
Absolutely.
Or leave.
Absolutely.
That's it. You won't even have a chance to enjoy how beautiful the place is. You're not here to enjoy how beautiful the place is.
Yeah.
You're here to work. So I feel like imports need to make sure that's in their head. Okay? Produce or you out.
More knowledge bombs from C-Dub right there. All right, Brian Debert says, if you could tell your younger self something, what would it be? This is a good question. I like this one.
So many things, man. So many things. You know, get your education, graduate, network from a young age. Don't hang with the cool crowd because the cats that are cool then, they're nobodies now.
Facts.
You can't tell me anybody back then. Do you know the percentage of the cool crew in junior high school and high school where you make the most vital decisions in your life, whether you know it or not? That's when it is. And it's because of that company you keep. The cool people don't hang with. You are most certain to do some fucked up shit and fail. 100%. There'd be mistakes that you cannot come back from. Hanging with that cool crowd.
Yep.
I would tell my younger self that. I would tell my younger self, don't become materialistic. Because that right there, that's no different than a drug. Right? And it will lead you to do things to keep up an image you don't need to keep at that age because you can't afford it. You might see the cool cats coming with cool sneakers and designer belts and designer clothes and all of this. At that age, you can't even have a job to support that habit.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you can't afford a habit you need supported, you start to do negative shit to get it. Don't go down that route. You know, hang out with the geeks and the nerds, what people call them as. I'd rather you hang with them. You'll learn so much more, and you'd stay way more out of trouble. The company you keep is vital in your life from 13 to like 19. If you have a passion, chase it. Stay clear away from negativity. Negativity is going to come. As soon as you feel it, move away from it. Ego and pride, put that shit to the side, put your head down and work your ass off. Don't nobody owe you nothing, so nobody needs to give you anything. Don't look for a handout. It's a bonus if it comes, but I'm not relying on you giving me shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you get disappointed. Oh, I thought Nick was my friend. He didn't give me this. Do it yourself.
Facts.
Whoever comes on board to help and assist, guess what? That's a plus.
Yeah.
These type of things, man. Like, don't get into, I'm just talking about that age, right?
Yeah.
That younger self, 13 and 19, that age group. Don't get in no relationships, man. You haven't even evolved to who you are. Mistakes will happen. You'll be jammed up. You understand? You don't know nothing about relationships. You haven't even been taught that correctly. And if you've been taught correctly, that's the last thing you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You're thinking about your future. Invest in your future. You know what I mean? These are the things that I would tell them, because that will help you make better decisions. Decision making in life is vital. It is vital.
And I think it's more important in the social media era too, because people look at it on social media, they see somebody else has got something, man, I want that, I want to, you know, and then like you said, they get caught up making stupid decisions, trying to live a life that they see on social media.
Comparisons will kill you, man.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself to nobody. Just run your race. You know what I mean? You see how people all day, what they do all day, spend hours like this. You can do that same shit and look at tutorials, things to educate you, things to empower you for the better. Use your time wisely. It all comes down to time management. Use your time wisely. Idle time is the devil. This is the same shit I tell my daughter every day. I'm not saying nothing right now that I don't give to her.
Yeah.
Straight. You know what I mean? Like, so anything I'm saying, I say to my daughter. She know. I tell her every day. I know she get tired of it. Like, Dad, I know. Dad, I know. I'm like, it don't hurt to hear it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A younger me didn't have me to tell my younger self. My father died when I was 3. You know what I mean? So my mother busy working. Thank God I had basketball. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what I would tell my younger self, because that right there gives you a foundation of success. Just knowing those values. And you stick by those principles, you'll be fine.
Next question also comes from Brian. So these are kind of like a 2-part question. So he kind of follows on from what he asked just then. He says, what mistake did you make and would not change because it taught you so much?
Oh man, I'm gonna go basketball with this question. The biggest mistake I made was not being ultra confident in shooting a 3-point shot. I hit my 3-point shot at 35%, 33, 30+%. I'm not here. I got about maybe $100 million in an account, chilling somewhere. That's what kept me out of a legit shot to the NBA. You talking about penetrating, getting to the rack? I was one of the best in the world. Everybody knew that. I can get through 2 or 3 defenders. I was never worried about the guy defending me. I was worried about, I'm going to pass him, but how am I going to get past those other 2 guys that's helping?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I was decisive with my penetrating ability, right? Here's the thing. First of all, I went to a small school, right? Didn't have big stats and didn't have a big name. So when it's set up that way, which is not good, the odds are already against you and you have 0 room for error. Little to no room for error. These how scouts do it. Let me see that paper for those who don't understand. Shit go like this. And I got a list of 30 shooting guards, because at that time, based on your height, they'll give you that title, that label. Shooting guard, which means what? Just because you're a shooting guard don't mean you can shoot well. You're just playing that position
yeah.
because they have to give a label to each position, a title, a name to each position. All right, 00 Williams, shooting guard, 0 for 2. Scratch your name off the list. Let me go to the next guys. You don't have room for error.
Yeah.
All right? This ain't Corey Williams, Duke, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, right? Kansas, Memphis. Those guys have room for error.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I would go to these camps. I literally was like jumping on a Greyhound bus. I don't know what's that equivalent to in Australia. I don't know. You just jump on a bus where it take you $25. That should have take you 20 hours down the road to a couple through interstate, right? Student ID. I'm going to these free agent camps, no agent, just like, saw this online. All right, maybe I can have a shot. It's just me naive, not knowing. Just, let's just go, right? As most kids with no direction or nobody older than them that have done it, that's what they do because you don't know any better. A lot of these camps are just money grabs, right? That's selling you a dream.
Yeah.
Here's how it goes. All right, here's a shooting guard list. They'll have somebody that played pro or a coach, they'll throw a camp. Their friend is an NBA assistant or whatever, comes to the camp, and you know what he'll say? The first thing he'll say is this. You see how many kids are in this gym, young men in this gym trying to make it? I'm going to tell you right now, do what you do best. If you can't shoot, don't come out here shooting. If you can't get to the basket, don't try to do that. If you can't handle the ball, don't try to do that. You're here to showcase and highlight what you can do best. You're here to be seen and get exposure. How are you going to stand out best doing something you can't do well? Shit, you got a good point. Well, I guess I better tuck this little jump shot back here because I'm not going to be on the... Look, there's about 300 people in this room, this gym, trying to get on.
Yeah.
I don't have a big name, so I'm not going to get a lot of playing time at this exposure camp unless I do what I do best and get busy. Well, fuck it. I'm just getting to the rack and create. I wish I had... And it's so crazy because, again, like, is it take that risk? And that mentally stuck with me. And I'm like, yo, fuck it. I just got to be in situations where I can highlight my ability to do this very well, right? So if I'm a penetrator, what do I need around me? Shooters. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, Townsville worked because I had shooters.
Yeah.
If nothing else, whether you make it or not, you're going to guard them. That gives me that much more room, and I didn't need that much room.
Yeah.
But it gives me that much more room
to do what you do.
To do what I do.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky game, man. That's the shit they don't tell you, man. Like, yeah, shoot. You go 0 for 3, he cross you off the list. If you ain't got no big name or rep, then what? Do what you do best. You can go out there and try and shoot, right? Knock yourself out. If you can do it, good on you. Great job. Good shit. But I'm just telling you, like, that's the thing I regret. But that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's where it's at.
All right, last question comes from Emily. Emily says, this one's about Mom Dukes. She wants to know, I want to know more about your mom. What was she like? What were her values? Did she support your crazy basketball dream? And of course, was she proud of you?
Miss Pat, everything I do in my life, there's two people who matter to me most, right? My daughter, my mother. And I always try my best. I don't get it right all the time, but I always try my best to, with the decisions that I've made in my life, I want my daughter to be able to say, that's my father. And my mother to say, that's my son. That means I've made them proud, right? My mother was a God-fearing woman, church-going Christian, and supported me till the day she died. She died of cancer a couple years ago. And the only thing, well, not the only thing, I'm proud. She was proud of everything. She was proud, college graduate, 2 degrees, lived out his dreams. And she was just came to my street ball game. She was there at the big battle. Like, my mother was there.
Yeah.
My sister Steph was there too. Shout out to my sis. Like everybody was there. You know what I mean? But for her, what changed my life was I was a class clown in school, in junior high school, middle school, out that 12, 13, uncool, not fly. So you try to be a clown, right? To deflect everything else that you don't have, right? So back in those days, they would grade you. If you were borderline, they're grading you based on your behavior. So if I'm a borderline D, I'm getting an F. Or if I'm a borderline C minus, they're gonna be like, well, do I give him a D or a C? Well, his behavior's been good. He's been given an extra credit. We'll give him a C. Him, this guy, D. So my report card was so red. Like, it was so, the only time she ever got disappointed by me was in middle school. Like, my grades were so bad, they did not allow me to graduate. They said, here's a certificate. He can't walk. I'm sorry. He can't go. He cannot walk. He's graduated. He cannot walk.
Up on the stage.
The commences, you can't go. That was, I never forget that till this day. Like, that was the day I disappointed my mother, and I never forgot that, like, till this day. So the only schools that accepted me were your zone school. So that was like literally like, I'd probably say the worst school in the Bronx. The worst high school in the Bronx. Like, literally, all the losers go there.
Not the one at the end of Boston Road.
Nah, that's Evander.
Evander, yeah.
Nah, Evander wasn't.
Okay.
That might have been the worst uptown school.
Okay, gotcha.
But this school, like, literally all the killers and murderers
yeah.
is there. That's where they go. Like, you can't go nowhere. That's where you go.
Yeah.
So I got accepted there, but of course I didn't go there. Yeah. I'm just telling you where I got accepted.
Yeah.
There, and another school in the village called Washington Irving High School, right? At this point, I never even traveled into the village. We go down there. There was literally like 20 people for their ID, high school ID. Yeah. So if the line had 20 people, maybe like 13 were girls. So I was like, oh, I'm going to love this. My mother said, oh, you think so? Let's go. Left. I'm like, I didn't even get the ID. Let's go. We leave. The next day, I don't even know how she found this place. But the next day, she took me to a Catholic all-boys high school in the middle of Harlem, 124th Street in Lenox, the heart of Harlem. We walked in this school. And I'm like, what the hell? These guys got ties on?
Is that Rice?
Rice High School. I'll get into that, but I'm going to go into, we walk into this dean's office. I don't know how this happened that quick, right? From yesterday, let's go, to I'm in Brother Walderman, the dean, icon. Brother Walderman, and I'm in this office. And he looks at the report card, and my mother's sitting next to me. And he says to my mother, we can't accept him. Academically, he will fail. Based off this transcript, he can't keep up with our curriculum. My mother begged the dean to let her son in. Mind you, this ain't free. This is tuition. He said, all right, here's what we'll do. We're going to give him a half semester. If the grades pan out, we'll continue the second half. And if it doesn't, he has to leave the school. She says, no problem. See you tomorrow. Fresh from Jamaica, the date, like, couple days before, like, back in them days in Jamaica, like, we put, like, freaking cartoon characters in. I'm like a 12, 13-year-old kid. Mickey Mouse, like, proper Jamaican thing I go on, right? So I got no tie. I got none of this stuff. We went to Payless and Favor. Like, I don't know, let's think like Big W.
Yeah.
Literally, like a Big W type of school, type of place. And like Walmart, Big W.
Yeah.
She got me like, maybe like, I don't know, a week's supply, and it was just on rotation. And I was like, that school saved my life. Because little did I know, I went there for disciplinarian reasons and structure. And the funniest shit? The dean was a white dude that played rugby. Can you believe that?
Jeez.
Oh, yo.
American
tough. Mr. Fahey. You don't want no smoke with him. And he like, yo, listen, man, like, what you doing, man? Detention. You in detention holding books like this for like an hour. What's that gonna make you do? Who wants to be here for an hour like this?
No one.
Nobody. I'm not messing. Accountability breeds responsibility is my point. So it wasn't academics-wise, curricular-wise, it wasn't about that. It was literally about I needed structure. You know what I mean? I needed discipline. And that's what that school provided. Not to mention that was the #1 high school in the nation in basketball. It was a factory. And the year before, that's when I fell in love with the game at like 12. So if I want to play ball, I just got to pass these classes and behave? Done.
That's your incentive right there.
This school gave me all the swag I got right now, everything came from Rice High School and in Harlem, because that's where I hung. That's culture capital. Everybody, I don't care who you are, A-list, celebrity, actor, actress, model, artist, whatever. You coming uptown to chill, especially in the summer, you know the vibes. You know what I mean? So culturally, Harlem's, come on, man, the birth of Renaissance in Harlem. That's where I was at. I was literally on 124th. Everything pops off 125th. Like, I was in the hub of it all.
Yeah.
So all our exposure led to expansion. Some of the flyest dudes in hip-hop culture was in high school with me when I was there. So all of this greatness is rubbing off of me. Yo, this shit was ill, man. Like, that was the illest experience outside of basketball in an all-boys school. We used to throw rice parties. Girls was outside the line, all high school girls, because no guys could get in if you didn't come to our school.
Yeah.
Shit looked like the tunnel. It looked like the illest club in New York, like when the line around the corner. That's how our high school was. I began getting confidence because of this school. It's kind of like if you're super, you go to MIT, you go to Harvard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This was the
HBCU,
equivalent.
you at Howard. It's like, so what school you go to? You tell me. And in return, if you got manners, what's the question you ask me next?
Where'd you go?
Oh, I go to Rice. You go to Rice? Done. You know what I mean? And you work your mojo from there, son. Yo, listen,
Added
man.
incentive.
Dude, like, that school changed my life. How would you not want to get up every day and be the best you can be to be involved in something as incredible as that?
Yeah.
Exposure leads to expansion, man. Shout out to my mother. God bless
Shout out
the
to Miss
dead, my
Pat.
love.
R.I.P.
Love you. No doubt.
All right. That's going to do it for us this week. C-Dub.
No doubt, man. Another dope episode. Like, follow, subscribe. We appreciate you all. 2 episodes left.
Yeah. We're going to go out with a bang.
We always go out with bangs.
Yes,
B.
sir.
Peace and love, y'all.
Yeah.